What's up, everybody? This is Hector Politics, just brand new stream. Hopefully, my mic sounds better because my mic's been sounding horrible. Let me see what's on the news. What can we cover on the news? Let me look at MS Now. Yeah, let me maybe watch this thing.
Down. I have MS Now contributor Inzamam Rashid, who's just off the Strait of Hormuz for us right now. And retired Colonel Mark Cancian, senior advisor to the International Security Program at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Inzi, we're learning of new attacks recently in northern Iraq. Can you start there and spell out for us what we know?
Yeah, well, after a 13th night of US attacks inside of Iran, I think we saw one of the heaviest nights of Iranian retaliation to the Gulf states. They targeted a number of US military bases across the region, including the Isa Air Base in Bahrain, the Muwafaq Air Base in Jordan as well. And Iran's military also claiming that they hit US bases in Kuwait too, where they said they completely destroyed some ammunition and said that they'd hit 6 barracks on one of the sites. Now, in northern Iraq, where we know there is a huge US military presence, Iran said that they launched drones towards the US military site there. It didn't hit it directly, but it hit in the vicinity. And we could see some images of black smoke billowing out of that area. We don't know the extent of damage that has been caused there, but we do know that Erbil International Airport had been shut for some time as a result. So clearly, Iran has still got military might in its arsenal to carry out damage and destruction across this region. The IRGC as well today putting out another warning, as you mentioned, Antonia, telling people who live near US military bases to effectively move away, be more than 500 meters away from them, because they will continue to carry out their attacks. One thing that I have noticed beyond the increase in fighting over the last couple of weeks, Antonia, is also the increase in rhetoric from all sides in this conflict. We're back where war is taking precedent over peace. And I think that is a huge concern, not just for the people in this region, but around the world as well, because we know how much of an impact that this war is having to the global economy.
Yeah, Inzi, I want to return to what you just said there about the way in which this war is spiraling, but I want the Colonel's thoughts first on the Pentagon's attempt here to lower the number of lives lost at this very critical moment, this juncture, from 18 to 14 people. I laid out the different explanations that they provided, but what do you see it as? What does it show you?
Well, this doesn't really make any sense. These four service members tragically lost their lives in this conflict. The conflict clearly has not ended. Calling this a separate conflict really, again, is not very credible. Sometimes there are questions about service member deaths, whether they can be attributed to a particular conflict. That sometimes happens if they pass away several months later, for example, or in a different geographic area, or sometimes there are gray areas, but this is not one of them.
Do you think that they are politicizing, in a way, the deaths of these troops? I ask because I guess the central question is sort of, well, what would be the purpose for the Pentagon of doing this? Is it an attempt, a sort of PR attempt to try to convince the American public that this war has not been as sad and as costly as it has been?
I'm not going to speculate about why they did it, but I'm confident that they will change that back, because it doesn't make any sense. And if they are trying to
So I'm guessing
reduce the concerns, they've
Iran. I'm guessing Iran hit some bases. So yeah, crazy. Iran hit some bases today.
brought more attention to the issue, not less.
Does it send a particular message to troops who are serving right now? How would you interpret it?
Yeah,
if
sorry
you were
about that.
serving right now and you saw the Pentagon do this on their
walking
website?
in and out of the bedroom.
The troops
so
in the Middle East, they've got a lot of other things on their mind.
Is this your car insurance premium?
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky telling top Trump ally Laura Loomer during a one-on-one interview in Ukraine that his relationship with Donald Trump has improved. And revealing the interview, he said, "I feel like such an expletive for minimizing the go to a place. That's why we encourage journalists." The reason your jaw is on the floor, it's not just because she had these opinions about Ukraine, which were based on propaganda and a lack of any kind of experience there, but were because she has said other things. I mean, she said, if Kamala Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry. And White House speeches will be facilitated via a call center. Yeah. She said, can't even watch a Super Bowl anymore because immigrants have literally ruined everything. And there's a lot more where that came from, right? The image of her sitting across from Ukrainian President Zelensky in that context is incredibly powerful.
It is. And all I could think of is, my goodness, the things one has to do to save their country. And I think he decided this is something he had to do to save his country because, they call her an influencer, but the person she influences that he cares about is Donald Trump. Yeah. And if this is what it takes, then this is what he's going to do.
I mean, Estelle, what does this signal to other world leaders? I mean, if you're saying Volodymyr Zelensky decided the best way to get to Donald Trump was to do what he just did.
I mean, I think get signals what world leaders have already known, which is Donald Trump cares about the folks in his proximity more than he cares about the kind of traditional channels of information or facts or a briefing or all the traditional ways leaders make decisions. Loomer, I do think it's shocking just to see her in this position. I think it speaks to the blurring of lines with journalists, influencer, like all of that kind of new media happening right now. This is someone whose anti-immigrant, anti-Muslim rhetoric has been so core to their politics. She was kicked off of social media platforms and has only been back, and influence has grown in the second Trump administration. But she's had a big fight with Tucker Carlson. I think this is partly about putting distance between her and him. And I think it kind of reflects where kind of MAGA lane has transitioned, where they couldn't be against or they couldn't be against aid to Ukraine while also supporting other kind of U.S. role in intervention, particularly when we think about Israel's role in Middle East. I think you're seeing her represent the new wave in which they're willing to defend the U.S. on both
She's
fronts.
certainly a late adopter on this issue of Putin's brutality in Ukraine. There was
100%.
plenty of evidence before now of the savagery that we've seen.
Well, it's amazing in a sense, just the lack of belief. I mean, for those of us who have been to Ukraine, and that there would be a complete lack of belief in anything that was presented.
But that's what
And
propaganda
it's good to go
is
for
designed to
yourself,
do.
but
Right.
propaganda was able to overwhelm reality.
For a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
For a
Yeah.
lot of MAGA and even for a lot of journalists. If you look at someone like Lara Loomer, I mean, not Lara Loomer, Lara
Yeah, I don't trust Larry Loomer. This is like pure propaganda. I don't know why CNN's even giving her the time of day. Larry Loomer just pushes right-wing conspiracy theories. Yeah, I have no idea why Larry Loomer is getting this much attention. It's sad. Yeah, Larry Loomer, don't follow her advice. She's a conspiracy theorist and a right-wing like nut job. I don't want to be mean, but yeah, right-wing nut job.
They're making an announcement on expanding nuclear power production in the U.S. On Iran, the president saying the conflict could end through military or a diplomatic strategy. He said his administration is talking with Iran and that Iran wants to make a deal, but they aren't ready yet. The president also saying he has not made a decision on a possible major strike against the country so far. I want to bring in our White House correspondent, Monica Alba, who's been standing by and listening alongside all of us. The president taking some sports questions at the very end. Of course, addressing that major news that everyone is talking about today. LeBron James, the GOAT, one of the best we've ever seen on the court so far, going to the Sixers and Philly. Philly fans really excited about that. But getting a small contract, Monica, $8 million over 2 years, though he's looking to win a title. That aside, let's talk, though, about Iran, because the president says they're talking to Iran, right? Which seems interesting to me, considering what we see on the surface level, which is social media posts from the president saying we are going after your infrastructure, we are going after your bridges, and Iran fighting back as well, saying we are going to fight.
The president has seen or considered that Russia were in NATO.
All right. Here we go. Hello, everyone. I will introduce my esteemed guest in a moment. I'm JVL, and my Receipts Live colleague, the great Catherine Rampell, is out today. But even though she's out, she's been working, and she has a piece that just dropped that I cannot urge you
Yeah, man, the
strongly enough
stream.
to go
Cheers,
read.
everybody.